And I am Melissa Shaver, and I'm with Plexus Worldwide. Super excited that you guys are with us, and we're so thankful that you took the time tonight to get on this call with us. And we are here tonight just to share our stories with you and why we're passionate towards our health. This is Plexus Worldwide. We're a health and wellness company, and we're really focused in some very main specific areas, and that is gut health, inflammation, blood sugar stabilization, and really vitamin and nutrition absorption, if you will, because we know in our country that most Americans are vitamin deficient. And so it's a really big area for us that really coincides with being having a healthy gut. So that's our area. And I want to say before we get started that this is our stories, and it's just our personal journeys. We are not here in any way to diagnose or to say that we can heal in any way. It is our personal stories of our health transformation through a very specific regimen that we wanted to share with you tonight. So with that, I am going to introduce Emily Young, one of my dear friends that's going to be sharing a little bit about her story and some of our favorite products. So Emily, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Awesome. I'm pretty excited to share tonight for several different reasons. So I want to share my story, but I think I'm going to start by sharing a little bit about the product. So I get to talk about the Slim, which is like Plexus's most awesome product. So the reason why I chose to share about the Slim is just because I started first with that, and it's had such an impact on me, and it had an impact from day one. So I actually noticed the results immediately, which is awesome. So the Plexus Slim has so many great ingredients in it. It has the chromium in it, which is great for blood sugar stabilization. It has a couple different antioxidants, which are great for like your overall health. So like your skin, your mind, your memory, things like that. And then it also has a prebiotic in it. And that's the thing that I couldn't rave more about. So Christina is going to talk in a little bit about like our ProBio 5, which is our probiotic, and our BioCleanse, those kind of things, like take the bad bacteria out and put in good bacteria. But the prebiotic that is part of the Slim is what kind of feeds that good bacteria in our gut. And I think all those things together, but the Slim especially really helped me from the get-go. So like this might be TMI, but I was having so many gut issues for several years since college. And I was to the point where I was constipated all the time. I was taking Miralax every single day. And my doctor was like, you couldn't imagine how many other 28-year-olds are in your position. And I was like, I don't think that this is an okay thing. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. What about when I get to be 80 and I can't, nothing helps. And I will say the moment I started my Slim, I stopped my Miralax and I never had to go back to it. And that's pretty amazing right there in itself. So I could rave all day about gut health because I know how important it is. And then on top of that, the Slim helps with, like I said, like blood sugar stabilization, which is great for overall health. And then it also can help with hormone stabilization, which was important to me. So that kind of leads to the other side to my story. So on top of my gut issues, I was having a lot of, I had just been diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So I was having a lot of problems with my hormone levels and with my blood sugar and just overall fatigue and even things like hair loss. So the moment I started, not the moment, but it took a little while to get things in balance, but I am really excited today because I'm now off of all my medicines. So I was on all kinds of different medicines that my doctor prescribed me I was going from one doctor to the next, and now I'm not going to the doctors all the time, and I'm not taking all those different medicines. So I'm just taking my supplements through Plexus. I'm getting the nutrients I need, and just I'm in a much better place. So when I say that I could rave about Plexus all day long, like I really could. Like it's why I feel like I have to share Plexus. I think people think I'm crazy when I say it has changed my life, but it has. Like, it gave me this new energy, and it gave me my health back, and you can't do anything without that health. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this, and why I wanted you guys to also meet Melissa and Christina, because they have amazing stories as well. So yes, I'm gonna hand over the mic to Christina, and she's gonna talk about the ProBio 5 and the BioCleanse.
All right. Thanks, Emily. Yes, I'm Christina, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my story, but also the ProBio 5 and the BioCleanse, 2 of the 3 products for the triplex. But let me start, not too much TMI. I mean, thank you, Emily. I'm glad you opened that door, because I do give a lot of information as well with that. But here I am. Let me just tell the story. I'm early 40s, chronic fatigue. Nothing ever diagnosed, because I didn't like to go to doctors, but basically I'd get a good night's sleep, but I'd wake up tired in the morning, 8 o'clock. I lived off coffee all day. If I didn't have coffee, I was literally falling asleep at the computer. I'd fall asleep. If you put me in the car, I was gone. I mean, I would fall asleep. Adult acne, like my back and my face. And because of that too, I took birth control for years to help with the acne. And my doctor said, oh, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't know it wasn't fine. Sinus headaches, I almost forgot about those because I don't have them anymore. And they were just something that would come on all the time. Digestive, Emily, just like you. Constipated. If I went 2 times a week, that was really good. And if I went on vacations, forget it. If I went out of the house, my body just shut down. It was very painful. My stomach would be cramping really bad. And when it came time to go to the bathroom, it would really hurt and I would cry. I mean, I'd be like, I don't want to go, but you have to go because you have all these toxins in your body. But it was that painful. And I just started living with that and saying, I guess this is my norm, and a lot of these things that people would say, oh, you're just old. It's just your age. And you just become, okay, I guess this is how we're supposed to live. The one thing that really got to me too was my joints, and I'm early 40s again. I can't open a jar without help or with somebody. I couldn't sit on my knees. I couldn't sit cross-legged. I used to do faux painting and my hands would start cramping up. So a lot of things were changing where I couldn't get out of bed without taking like 5 to 10 minutes to stretch out my joints and actually be able to move and walk normally. So I felt like I was, 100 years old. And that the direction of my family, I didn't want to go in where it's, a lot of medications. And I know we need it, but I felt like as far as it's up to me, I wanted to do whatever I could to go on a natural path, a natural way. And I've been somebody who was just constantly trying different things and trying, and every other day it was something new that somebody said, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. And when a friend shared Plexus with me, I was like, okay, first of all, I trusted her. And I saw how she had changed. I knew other friends that had changed, how it changed their lives in different ways. And so I was like, okay, I'm all in. So when I went all in, I went in with the product. I drew my line in the sand. I said, this is going to work. And with the business, because I felt like I needed to pay for my product. So I was like, okay, this is going to work. And I know it's worked for others. Why not me? And I needed it to be natural. I didn't want a quick fix because those things don't last. I wanted it to be a lifestyle change. And I just wanted it to be something basically that was going to, extend my life in a natural way without dealing with medication. So I just thought, okay. And the one thing I did really hear about mostly was like the weight loss. So I thought, well, I do need to lose some weight and maybe that'll help with my joints. Okay, so but I had no idea how much more that it was. And that's why I'm going to talk about ProBio 5, one of my favorite ones. So everything I just told you about, the things that I went through, they're all on a turnaround, complete turnaround for me. But when you hear gut health, and that's like the buzzword, but Plexus has had gut health for like years. And that's basically a lot of the things we deal with today. The root causes our gut. If our gut is unhealthy, a lot of the things that are challenges, diseases, inflammation, things that we deal with our gut. So I realized that getting my gut balanced was the key to a lot of the issues that I was already facing. So let me start off with, we all have a little bit of yeast inside of us. They call it like candida yeast, that scientists have said that the only reason we have that is to decompose our body when we die. So we need it. We need a little bit. But because of our lifestyle today, you have, processed food, you have sugar, you have alcohol, we have stress, antibiotics, over-the-counter medicine, prescriptions, all of those things feed that yeast, which makes it grow. And so you probably heard, the leaky gut, where it permeates through your lining. And some of the issues that come from an overgrowth of yeast, which was for me, and I can totally see it now, is digestive issues, fatigue, weight gain, mood swings. I was not a fun person to be around. Allergies even. So, and I'm looking back at that list, and those things on that list, we put a lot of Band-Aids on. They're either maybe over-the-counter Band-Aids or they're prescription Band-Aids. So this is, for me, this was something I was trying to avoid, and I wanted to get to the root of it. ProBio 5, I have everybody in my family on ProBio 5 when, as much as my older kids can remember, but it makes a difference. I can tell when they haven't taken it. I'm like, have you been taking your probiotics? So it's like a 3-in-1 product. Okay, so it contains enzymes, good bacteria, antifungal. So the enzymes go in and it breaks that candida shell, which is really hard to get through, certain enzymes. It gets in there, the antifungal kills off the bad bacteria, and then it replenishes with the good bacteria. So it's a little different than a regular probiotic, which just gives you, all the good bacteria. It gets in there and basically kills it off. And it's kind of like, we call it it's like the toilet brush. You're cleaning the toilet. And so the next product after that is the BioCleanse, which we call like you're flushing the toilet, okay? The BioCleanse, I would never leave home without it, because now when I go on vacation, I can go every day. And that, for those of you who don't have that issue, it's a huge thing to be able to go and not be constipated for a week. It is a magnesium supplement that has bioflavonoid complex in it. But what it basically does, it's a gentle cleanse. So it's not a cleanse that you have to, you're stuck on the toilet. It's just something we take daily, and I can tell when I don't. It cleans your GI tract, so it's not just getting it's getting everything out of there. Not just, there's could be stuff, sorry, TMI, but stuff left in the lining, so it's going to pull everything out of there. It reduces your gas and bloating and just that uncomfortable feeling that I know, like for me, that I would have all the time. Promotes, regularity, definitely. It helps remove the harmful microbes in your body, not just the waste, but just all the stuff that's in there you're trying to get out of there. You don't want to leave all those toxins in there. Again, for me, it's constipation. Definitely has helped with that. And I have a friend who actually was on the other side of constipation. So she was more of the, having to go to the bathroom all the time. And it really balanced her out as well. So the one thing I can say is, our products, and that's what I love about them, they work differently on everybody. So for me, I needed it because I was constipated, but my friend who had it the other way, she needed it to get regular. And the products are natural, so they're giving our body what it needs so that our body can work the way it's supposed to work. And I love these products, and I wouldn't be without them. So that's my story, and I'm going to pass this on to Melissa.
Thanks so much. I tell you what, I love just your science behind it all and your passion towards it. And Emily, thank you so much for your story. There's so many, young women with PCOS, and it's a really, really big deal. And every time I hear your story, Emily, the Miralax thing at your age is a little bit mind blowing for me. To know that both of you guys were in situations that were really detrimental to lifestyle, to everyday living, the pain that you dealt with on a continual basis. And I think for so many of us, we think that's just our kind of our lot in life. I know that that's how I was. Another thing that really stood out to me so much is you talking about, no more doctor's visits. I mean, my first thought was no more co-pays, no more money towards medications and prescriptions and on a monthly basis of doing that. And then Christina, you talking about, which blows my mind, that you had adult acne because you have the most beautiful skin. But we know that with the BioCleanse and the oxygenator, and of course that ProBio 5 that gets out bad bacteria and really allows our bodies to flourish with the good bacteria, that it's working on the inside, but you see it on the outside. And I thought of you, and I know that Joyome, which is our newest skin line, that's just added to your beautiful skin. So it gets me excited to hear the stories. But like I said, I am Melissa Shaver, and I'll close this out a little bit. The 3 products that you just heard about is really our flagship products, if you will, and it's called a triplex combo. So they're kind of bundled together. They are focused, fully on that gut health, blood stabilization, getting our bodies regulated, getting our systems healed fully and completely, oxygenating our system, getting magnesium and chromium into our systems, which most of us are so deficient in those areas. And then also just that absorption of nutrients. For the majority of people, believe it or not, because our gut is unhealthy in the manner it is, we are not absorbing nutrients. So for me, and I know for Christina too, but for me in the beginning, whenever I was introduced to Plexus, I was a vegan. Like, I was eating so clean, and I was thinking, I'm putting every type of nutrient into my system and making sure that I'm leaving the bad foods out. Why do I feel the way that I did? And it was so confusing to me until I was introduced and educated to understand gut health. And if our gut is unhealthy, if the lining of our gut is perforated, then all of that toxin and all of that yuck is going into our bloodstreams, going into other areas, and we can't absorb. It doesn't matter what we're eating. And so to know that we have got something that we can prevent, that we can be proactive is pretty huge. So just real quick, the way that I was introduced to Plexus, which I'm so thankful for. I say it's a gift from the Lord, fully and completely. But I come from a background of autoimmune disorders, and I have 4 different autoimmune disorders. I have hypothyroid, celiac disease, fibromyalgia, hypoglycemia. I was just a walking, messed up little poster child girl. But if you knew me, if you saw me, you would think that I was like the picture of health from the standpoint of my lifestyle. I ate incredibly clean. I ran triathlons. I worked out twice a day to get in all of the different forms of training for those races. I worked really, really hard on a balanced lifestyle. I really wanted to sustain, but for most of us, and I would say all, especially women for whatever reason, but we hide behind a lot of things. We don't often share publicly about how we feel, our health issues, the things that are going on. I say that we're kind of silent sufferers. And that's who I was, because my full-time work was to serve others, to check on their needs, to be there for them. And there was no room for me to share my burdens in that. And I didn't desire to, because I felt like I was called to take care of others in that way. So my family felt it in my case. They saw the suffering. They saw the mama that came home that was totally worn out, the girl that had to have food with her all the time because my blood sugar levels would just go crazy on me, and I would get sick and nauseated and pass out, and all these different things that were going on. I was foggy brained. I couldn't finish my sentences. I couldn't think straight. I just remember there was a time where I would get so frustrated with people that the anger that I had to keep in, but I'd come home and tell my husband, like, I don't get it. And it was like I was becoming this perfectionist, yet I'm not a perfectionist towards other people, but I had an anger within me that was just high stress, high anxiety that I did not know how to manage or how to lower those levels that were going on. And so I was introduced to Plexus, and the thing that really stuck out the most to me was my friend slept really, really well, and she had really great energy. And I got so curious very quickly, only because, number one, I fully trusted her. She's a no-nonsense girl, but she has heart conditions, and her son is on the autistic scale. And so the very first thing I did was reach out and say, number one, is it fully naturally based? Because it has to be for me. I don't want to be addicted to anything. I don't want to feel like that it's something that I have to do. And it has to be natural for me because I eat clean. It has to be gluten-free, all these different things. And she said, my doctor and my son's doctor both approved all the ingredients. You're good to go. And so I got super, super excited about it. It wasn't until I started doing the research, started asking the questions, that I learned that gut health is fully connected to autoimmune disorders. After all these years, 10 different types of medications just to live through my days, all my doctor's visits, every doctor just saying, you're just getting older. And I really did think it was my lot in life. No doctor had ever said anything of a connection of gut health and autoimmune disorders, gut health and inflammation. And my inflammation points were so high. I had chronic fatigue, took 12 Advil a day, knew I was hurting my organs and my liver, was taking sleep aids at night, and I would do a cocktail of sleep aids because, once again, I knew I was hurting myself. But for all of us who suffer and suffer in big ways, honestly, we do things that can hurt us just to find relief. And that's just where I was. I was kind of gambling my life. And so I was introduced to kind of this new world. And within just a few months, like, my whole life was transformed. Seriously, everything changed. I felt like the clouds parted and I could see the sun. I mean, I don't know how else to say it other than all of a sudden I got my life back. And I could think, I had energy. It was sustainable energy all day long. I slept through the nights like a baby. I didn't have this restlessness. My anxiety came down so greatly. My strength, because of my immune system, totally changed. My workouts changed because of that. Like, my life changed. And so I just became so passionate. And because I suffered the way that I did, and because I do what I do, and I care about people, and I love people, and I want us to live out our full potential, because I truly believe that we were created with purpose, and the majority of us don't get to live out that purpose because we just can't do it. Our bodies physically, our minds mentally can't get us there. And I'm passionate for us to be able to live out our full potential. And so it just became very, very natural for me to share. And I think that you hear that from Emily and her passion, and Christina and her passion, that it's something that you can't not share if you have found something that changes your life in the manner that it does. I will just real quickly touch on the business side. I do this business full time at this point. This is all I do. And full time is not a 40-hour week. But just, my background is corporate America. I moved from corporate America to going and getting my master's, going back to school and getting my master's. And then I started nonprofits, and I was lead, executive director of nonprofits. And so that's my world. And my world has always been, I love working. I love strategy. I love vision. I love working with teams, building leaders. That's who I am and what I do. And, but my hours were, anywhere from 8 to 14 hours a day. 8 was so unnatural for me. Anything 10 to 14 hours was very much of a norm for me because of the work that I did. And what happened with that is, that's great and fantastic, but you miss everything in regards to your first loves. So my family, my children, them growing up, me being there for them, those were where my tears were the most, is that I missed every opportunity. I was never room mom. I was never the one that got to bake the cookies, never got to have the party at school for birthdays. I missed events because I traveled so much. And I was continually praying about ways that I could have a different income stream, ways that I could be more flexible, ways that I could do things that I really believed that I was created to do and have the flexibility to do those loves. And it was a continual process. I was always throwing stuff out to my husband, can I do 2 or 3 smaller jobs, and just trying to work it out. And so in that time, whenever I was introduced to Plexus, I had daughters that are a year apart, and they were headed to college, and we needed that second income stream so that we could pay for tuition and just their experience while they were away at school. And my world of second income streams at that time, I was a ghostwriter, and I've been very blessed and very privileged to write for some national speakers, and it was a great experience. But it took all of my time on the weekends and at nights to be able to have that second income stream. And once again, I just lost even more time with my family. And so when I was introduced to Plexus, I was introduced to the opportunity, and that's why I want to introduce it to you, because I think it's important, because it's a gift that is given to us. And as we looked at the compensation plan, and our compensation plan is a hybrid. Emily, myself, Christina, any of us would love to talk to you about it. We won't go into depth here, but saying that it's a hybrid, we're able to pull some of the best different forms of compensation into one. And we are really, really taken care of for representing and sharing our love for these products. And I had my husband look at the compensation plan, and he immediately said, you got to go for it. Like, if they can do it, which were my dearest friends that were very, very successful, you can do it. You put on your pants the same way they do every single day. They have no skill sets that you don't already have. And our skill sets are caring for people, loving people, and wanting to share our stories with them. And so I sit here today, a year and a half ago, resigning from corporate America, resigning from traditional jobs, and being able to do my first love of being, for the first time, a stay-at-home mama and taking care of my kiddos and being everywhere they are, being able to travel with my husband and doing the things. I get to design my days now of doing the things that I was created to do, and to be able to love on the people that is very unique to me in the way that I love on people. And so it's something for you to think about for anyone that is with us tonight or listening to this recording later in the week. More than anything, I think for all 3 of us that we would testify to this. When you take these products and you realize what they do and how you feel, and that it's a natural energy and a natural getting your body into a biorhythm that it's naturally supposed to be, to where you can sleep well and have the energy that you need, you do want it to be what Christina was talking about, that lifestyle change. It's not a quick fix. It's a lifestyle. And so for all of us, and probably for you, you get to that place of, I want this as part of my life. I want it for my children. I want it for my family. What does that look like from a budget standpoint? And we all started this whole process because we wanted our families on the products. We wanted ourselves on the products, but we wanted our products paid for. And so I want you to hear that first and foremost, is if this is something that you are curious about, that you know that you want that lifestyle change, just know that this opportunity is one that you can very quickly be able to pay for your products just by sharing. And so I want you to know that as well. Reach out, ask us about it, because we want you to know. So with that, I just want to say thank you for being with us. Thank you for hearing our stories. If you have any questions, reach out, because we want to answer them for you. It's been probably the greatest thing that we have ever done. And I'm going to leave you with this, and that is that none of us know our tomorrows. None of us know how our days will change. And when I started this business almost 5 years ago. I didn't know I would be where I am today, but this past year for me has been a year of total movement, total transitioning of families, taking care of my mom for 3 months out of a year because of different health issues that she's had, having my husband transition between jobs and having a gap in finances, having children, getting married that were unexpected for us a year ago, just different things that are going on that we could have never fully planned for, but we were given a gift. With this business, with this opportunity to be able to step into different situations that we couldn't have planned for, that we were able to do very comfortably. And so just know that you don't know what your tomorrows look like, but I believe that you can be proactive and preventative in taking care of your health, taking care of your lifestyle, getting quality of life back, and being able to set yourself up for your future. So with that, thank you so much. And if you have questions, reach out to Emily or myself or Christina, and we will help you guys. Emily, Christina, thank you so much for being on tonight. And we'll talk to you guys later.